This is going to be another class on internal table, and in this class we will learn some more example and we'll perform some more operations on internal table, and we'll also follow through what are the best practices in ABAP to follow so that our program is very efficient in terms of code performance. So let's take the first program of this class. So we'll be taking the same include that we have used in our previous class. So instead of repetitively writing the values for our table, I've created a program which is of type include, and I've added this to my code. You can just double click on it and see what is written in that include program. So basically it's a structure, and this structure we have defined an internal table and a structure variable, and we are appending 10 records with respect to different roll number, classes, names, gender, fees, and so on. So the first program for today's class is find out the students roll number, class, name, and fees who paid the highest and lowest fee. So looking at the program, what we can identify is we want to find details of the students who have paid the highest and the lowest fee. We are having a table, and in that table there are number of students, but of course they are not in sorted form. So the first thing that should come into our mind is we will be sorting the data. So let's start the first line. Sort internal table STU by what field we will be sorting? Of course it's fees, because that's what we want to find, whether it's on higher side or lower side. So we'll be sorting it in descending fashion, and then we'll apply a read statement. Read table IT underscore STU into IS underscore STU with index 1. Now why index 1? As you type the program, you should also keep on executing the program line by line. After the execution of 8th line, what will happen to our table is all the data will get sorted in descending order with respect to fees. So the first record that we are reading in our read statement will have the highest amount of fees that is paid by the student. So we'll be getting the detail of that structure with write statement. Write. So I will write highest Now I will give each and every field name in that structure. IS underscore STU hyphen fees. We'll just copy this part because this is the structure which will remain constant, but the fields that we will be declaring will change. Name, class, and roll number. So we have achieved half of our target. That is, we have the student which has paid highest fee. Now, how about if we want the one which has paid the lowest fee? We will be again sorting it with respect to fees, but this time in ascending fashion. We will read the first because in ascending the lowest fee value will be on top. It is. So let's just check it if there are any syntax error. There aren't. Activate it and let's execute it. Okay, so the highest fee paid is 10,000 by Sherlock. He's in class PhD and his roll number is 7, and lowest fee paid is 1010 by Rogue. She is doing graduation. Roll number is 848. But now looking at the code, since we are reading twice, this will impact the performance of the code because it will unnecessarily hitting the table and rearranging the data. So to improve this code, what we can do is we can only use one read statement. So now we will achieve the same requirement with only single sort statement. So I am deleting this sort statement, and the next step would be I would require another structure which will be like is underscore stu like is underscore stu. So in order to store values of two different students, the highest fee would be in structure is structure and another would be in is structure 2. And I would also need another variable that would be count. It's type of integer. Now why I'm taking this variable? Because I want to find total number of records present in our table, and for that we'll be using a describe keyword, describe table it underscore stu lines count. That's it. So in count it will store the total number of records present in internal table it underscore stu. Now we'll be sorting the table once in descending order, and we will read this internal table twice now. Once is for the highest value and for other one would be for lowest. We know the last record would have the lowest value. That's it. So by following this method we have improved the performance of our code, since now we are sorting the table only once. Let's check it. So the output would be very same. There will not be any change in the output. Okay, but there is some change. Okay, now why are we getting the highest paid value and the lowest paid value same? Now to understand it, since we are showing both the values from our previous structure is underscore stu, whereas in this method 2 we have declared it as is underscore stu 2. So right now I'll just write 2 everywhere. Let's activate it. Yeah, so now we can see that are being displayed is correct. The highest fee is of Sherlock 10,000 and the lowest is of Rogue 1010. So let's take another program for this class. So before just hopping on to our next program, I would just like to show you how is the memory allocation done at the back end. So we have defined one table it underscore stu, and we have defined two structures it underscore stu1 and stu2, and another a count variable. So this count variable holds nothing but total number of records, and we have moved the data of first record in itstu1, which is the highest fee paid by the student, and another one itstu2, which holds the lowest value of fees paid by the student. So this is how the memory allocation is done. The second program is to find out the details of top 5 highest paid student. So in this program we'll be sorting the data in descending format and we'll pick up the first 5 student detail. Let me just include that program, include ztest stu data, and then we will sort it underscore stu by fees descending, and then we'll be looping the data so that we get the top 5 records. Loop at it underscore stu into is underscore stu from 1, that is index number 1, to index number 5. So we are running the loop for first 5 records, and I am asking the ABAP editor to write these student details in line one after the another. roll number, name, class, gender, fees, and loop. It's pretty painter. Check it, activate it, and let's execute it. Yeah, so this is the information. The roll number, the name, Sherlock is the highest paid, second one is Tina, third is Ali, Jane, and Remo, and their fees are 10,000, 9,900, and so on. So this is how we can use loop statement and pull the data from the table. So let's take the third program of this class. So the third program is to find out the total fees paid by male students and female students. So in this, we will be creating two variables of type fees, in which fee 1 will be holding total fee paid by male student, and another one, fee 2, will hold total fee paid by female students. And since to do the addition of male student, fee paid by male student and female student, we will be writing two loop statement in this. So let's get started. Data, total fee 1, like is underscore stu dash fees, total fee 2. Okay, so we have done this declaration. Now we'll be running a loop at it underscore stu into is underscore stu, where gender equal to male and a period sign, then total fee 1 equals to total fee 1 plus this value presented in our structure stu hyphen fee. Okay, that's it, and loop. So here it will keep on adding the total fee value structure by structure until unless the complete looping of the table is done, and the total fee paid by male students will be stored in total fee 1. Similarly, we will be doing same step for females as well. Just write F over here, and this would be total fee 2 over here, and here as well, and loop, and just write it down. Total fee paid by male students fee 1, fee 2. Let's check this thing. It's correct, activate, and this time we'll be debugging each and every line. So let's keep a breakpoint over here. Another way of setting a breakpoint is hard-coded method, wherein I'm writing break hyphen point, so it will stop over here. So let's execute this. Okay, so it has stopped over here, and right now let's check what's in is. What's in total fee 1, total fee 2. Okay, let me just press F5 and see how the value of total fee 1 keeps on getting incremented. So the loop is, so right now it's 5,000, 6,110, So the loop will keep on running and for all male students. All the male students fee is summed up. It will move on to summing up of female students. So it's done. 30,560 is the total fee paid by the male student. Let's run a loop for female students as well. 9,000, 16,000. Continuously pressing F5 button. 27,915. Yeah, so it has executed the right statement as well. So the total fee paid by male student is 30,560 and total fee paid by female students is 27,915. But there is one problem with our program, and that is we are using loop twice, and when we do a looping over here, we are doing a loop for hardly 10 or 20 records. That will you will not be able to find any degradation in performance. But when it comes to real time, where we have millions of record and we are looping a table twice, then it is going to significantly impact our loading activity. Now the next method would be I'll be using only one loop, and through that one loop I'll be achieving this same requirement. So I'll go ahead and I will just delete this loop. Let that breakpoint be there. We've got no issue with it. I will remove this where condition as also. Now we are looping the complete table, and in our table we have male as well as female in gender field. We can divide this by using if condition, where we will do the summation if gender equal to male, else do the summation if gender equal to female. But in if we perform certain condition, so there's again a drawback of using an if over here. Right now we are having only two conditions, so it's not of much big deal. But what if we are having 7, 8, 9 conditions? In that case we can use a case statement. Case statement would be more efficient in this case because it will be directly jumping to the required cases, whereas in if condition it has to perform checking of condition at each and every level. So I will go ahead and write a case statement inside this loop statement. So I have not only improved the performance but also reduced the number of lines that is required to achieve the requirement. You see, the lesser the number of lines are, the better would be the performance of our code. So we try to reduce the number of lines as much as possible. Of course, not at the cost of our requirement. Our requirement should get fulfilled. So everything would be same. I'm just checking this if there are any syntax error. Okay, there we go. I have not given an end case. Case check, activate, let's execute. Now we'll again do the debugging also. Yeah, so it has opened at the breakpoint. So what's the value of total fee 1, total fee 2, internal table and internal structure. Let's press F5. So it has started the addition right now. So as and when it is getting the record, if it is male, it directly jumps to this line, and if it is female, then it directly jumps to this line and keeps on adding the fee value. So I am pressing F5 regularly, and you can see simultaneously both the values are getting incremented. So I've pressed an F7 key right now so that we can see the final value of male and female student. We already know the total. So this is how we can reduce the usage of loop. So our logical thinking is must while programming. So before we start any implementation of logic, we take a pen and a pencil and we write the code by ourselves on paper, and we debug it in our mind or on paper. Once we have got the logic, then we start building the program. So let's take the last and the fourth program of this class. So the last program for this class is to separate out the data based on gender, that is male in internal IT data 1 and females in IT data 2. So we know we have an internal table of students data, and in which it's having data for male student data as well as female. Now our requirement is to separate it out based on male and female. So for that we'll be first declaring the two internal table, data IT underscore data 1 type like internal IT underscore STU, and similarly for IT underscore data 2. Now we'll be just looping the internal table IS underscore STU, and then like we did in our previous program, what we will do, we will use an, instead of case, we will use a if statement, and we will do the appending of structure to our table. So if IS underscore STU is gender equal to male, then append IS underscore STU to IT underscore data 1, else append, that means student is not male, then it's female. So append the same thing, but this time to data 2. We'll end if. So we have closed this end if, and then we will end loop also. Yeah, let's check this. Activated. We'll also create a breakpoint. Let's debug this code. So this is also very efficiently written code. Let's check what is in IT data 1 and IT data 2. Oh, so surprisingly both number of females and males are same in 1 and in 2. Both we have got 5 females and 5 males. That's nice. 50% gender literacy. Okay, so this is one of the method of achieving this. But in ABAP programming, the fastest type of statement that can be executed is an assignment statement. The next one are those which perform logical operation like if, loop, and so on. So how about if we remove this if loop, because this too takes some time for execution. And is there any way to achieve this requirement using assignment statement? Yes, we can do that. We can create internal table. We can move the data of our internal table IT STU into both of these tables, that is IT underscore data 1 equals to IT underscore STU. So we are basically just moving the data from our internal table STU to data 1 to and data 2. Now once that is done, what we can do, we can use delete keyword, and we will be deleting the internal table with data 1 where gender equals to male. Similarly for table 2, female. So see, we have achieved the same requirement but without if and loop statement. So let's activate it. Let's execute it and see what is present in our internal table IT data 1 and 2. Yeah, so both of them are holding male and female records. 5 male students we have and 5 female students we are having. And another way, that is the third way that I'll be showing you now, is to, instead of doing this assignment, we can also use this append lines of statement. Append lines of IT underscore STU to IT underscore data 1 and data 2. That's it. Again it will act as again it will give us the same output. Let's activate, test it. So it's starting the debugger. So let's check what is in IT data 1 and IT data 2. Both are having 5 records. IT data 1 has all female records and IT data 2 has all male records. Yeah. So in these two classes on internal table, so far we have gone through 6 types of operation on internal table. That is to append, to read a table, sort it, looping an internal table, deleting records in an internal table, and describing to find the number of record counts in an internal table. Now one more command that we can see in the next class is modify, and there are much more sample programs that we'll be doing on internal table. So that's all for this class. Thanks for watching.